Epic Mickey Rebrush gets a release date, and it's sooner than we thought. Game Freak, the makers of Pokemon, have a new game that just stealth launched out of nowhere, and it actually looks really cool with Pokemon type art style. And then the verdict's in on Luigi's Mansion 2. Does this game slap, or is it a skip? We got all that and more. So good morning, Mario, and good morning, Switch fans. Hope you're all doing fantastic out there. Hit that like button if you enjoy this show, and now away we go. I want to start off with Luigi's Mansion 2 HD because I think it's one of Nintendo's weirdest releases of the year, and maybe one of their weirdest releases of the Switch generation. It's no secret that Nintendo has tried to pump back up 3DS games and 3DS franchises here in the Switch era. I don't think that's a bad idea at all. In fact, I think it's really smart. In fact, it's one of the benefits Nintendo found in unifying their home console and portable console markets that their franchises now kind of are doubled, right? They can use home console franchises and portable franchises to feed the same audience, which is super great. And it helped birth something like Luigi's Mansion 3, which is a great amalgamation of what Luigi's Mansion has been and created the ultimate Luigi's Mansion for Switch in a game that I think many would agree is the pinnacle of the franchise. Enter Luigi's Mansion 2 HD, a game that I think has seen some mixed response since its announcement, and then from me, definitely mixed response when I found out it was a full-price title. Now, it's fine if Nintendo decides to add a lot of features or bring this game well up to modern standards, but Nintendo did not add all that much to Luigi's Mansion 2 HD. They HD-ified the visuals, and it seems like the game does look really nice. It's 1080p in docked mode, 720p in handheld, and the anti-aliasing makes everything look very crisp, but Nintendo did not add anything, nor did they modify the structure of the game, which was specifically designed for the 3DS. You see, Luigi's Mansion 2 is a very linear Luigi's Mansion, whereas Luigi's Mansion 3 was a humongous hotel-sized Luigi's Mansion. I think this juxtaposition makes Luigi's Mansion 2 HD look like a very subpar release. Now, the game is scoring in the mid-7s right now, which is pretty darn low for a Nintendo first-party game. Nobody seems to think that Luigi's Mansion 2 is bad, but that compared to Luigi's Mansion 3 and compared to other titles in 2024, this does feel like a blast from the past. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing bad about blast from the past, so long as you charge a blast from the past price. But Nintendo has opted to go full 60 for Luigi's Mansion 2 HD, and without hardly any new features, and with a gameplay style and plot structure that feels very antiquated and trapped on a system it's no longer trapped on, we've got a weird release that I don't think is going to move the needle very much. Even more so than something like Mario vs. Donkey Kong, I feel like Luigi's Mansion 2 HD is such a strange bird. It's worse than the Luigi's Mansion that's already out. It's more expensive than the Luigi's Mansion that's already out because you can find that game on sale pretty often. And even though it's a new release, it doesn't really have much new outside from some graphical touch-up and polish. So Luigi's Mansion 2 feels like a strange skip for me. It's a very good game, and people say that you can't deny the charm of this title, especially now that it's on Nintendo Switch, but do you really want a game that feels like it's worse than the version you played on Switch? It's something that I find a bit strange as we go and release these titles out of order. You see, when we do something like release Metroid Prime Remastered, and hopefully eventually Metroid Prime 2 and 3, and then Metroid Prime 4, okay, that feels pretty darn nice. Or let's pop out Pikmin 1 and 2 as we lead up to the release of Pikmin 4. But because of the way things worked and the way things went, we have Luigi's Mansion 2 dropping after, years after, Luigi's Mansion 3 without a discount, and with definitely a drop in how this game was developed. It's clearly developed for an inferior, smaller system, a more bite-sized experience, and the reviews reflect that. It doesn't seem like Luigi's Mansion 2 is doing anything new to really overcome its more antiquated gameplay style, and therefore I find this to be one of Nintendo's more disappointing title releases of 2024 and maybe of the last few years. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. Is anything moving you to pick up Luigi's Mansion 2, or do you think it's something you're going to skip out on as well? Maybe instead, though, you can move those funds towards Epic Mickey Rebrushed, which got its release date today, strangely, not in the Direct, not in Summer Game Fest. They're like, hey, guess what? Epic Mickey Rebrushed is out September 24th, and we got this bangin' collector's edition that honestly looks really nice. It's got an Oswald keychain, a Mickey Mouse statue, a super sick tin sign that honestly should be the cover of the game. That tin sign is beautiful, and that should be the steelbook for sure. It also comes with 6 postcards, a costume pack, and the game itself on your platform of choice, giving you a nice physical version for Nintendo Switch. It says they're only making 5,000 of these, which doesn't sound like a lot, but I'm guessing given Epic Mickey Rebrushed is a remake, it probably is a lot. This game, to me, is doing a lot more to modernize the title than, say, the direct comparison of Luigi's Mansion 2. It is an older game from 2010. It's a Wii title, and it had kind of wonky controls considering it was on the Wii. And so now they've modified the controls to be more modern, and it looks like they've upgraded the gameplay in some ways as well. Maybe now Epic Mickey is ready with better performance and better polish. Maybe this is a game that we can actually enjoy from the Disney side of things. I hope that it turns out really nicely. And given that it's out in September, it's only a few months away, although it does back right up against The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, which I think is going to be many Switch owners' top targeted title for this second half of 2024, and that sort of seems like maybe not the greatest move. I feel like if Epic Mickey Rebrushed came out in November, given that November is Mario and Luigi Brothership, which appeals to a lot of Mario fans, but maybe a more niche crowd given its RPG genre, and nothing else really is coming out in November. We got Mario Party Jamboree in October, Echoes of Wisdom in September. I mean, September is a fine release date. Typically, that would be better than October, November. But this year, I don't know. This year, I feel like September is loaded. Nonetheless, I'm more inclined to pick this up. All right. The collector's edition, though, is $200, so I will be skipping it despite it looking cool. $200 is way too much money. The regular game is already full price at $60, so we are in this situation where remasters are coming out, rebrushes are coming out at full price. 3DS games are coming out at full price. Wii games are coming out at full price. Basically, everything under the sun is full price except for those indies, and many of those are increasing in cost as well. So, yeah, games are expensive. Gonna have to be picky, choosy, and I do wonder if this is going to regret coming out so near to Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. They had chance after the Direct to change it. They didn't announce this till after Zelda was already announced, and plans might already be established, of course, but they could have switched it, and I wonder if you think they should have done just that. Are you more inclined to pick up Epic Mickey Rebrushed than you are Luigi's Mansion 2? Let me know in the comments down below. I know what I want to play, and it's the new game from the makers of Pokemon. Game Freak is known to be a little creative from time to time, and they registered this trademark for Panland earlier in the year. And we were like, what the heck is Panland? Does it have to do with pandas? Is it some theme park for Pokemon? In fact, it dropped today. Game Freak stealth released Panland, which is a ocean-y RPG with voxel art in-game, but epic Pokemon-style sketches for the trailer and official game art. This looks like something Game Freak made, and duh, they did, Zach. But it's only out in Android and iOS forms, and it's only out in Japan. Now, there's no word if this game will come stateside, but I have to imagine that it will, given that Game Freak has released all their games in the past to a worldwide audience. They're probably starting with Japan as a soft launch, as often that happens with iOS and mobile titles. But their goal here, they say, was to create a game that takes the scale of a console game and makes it easy and simple to play. It was a difficult challenge for us alone, but by borrowing the help of Wonder Planet, which has a proven track record in mobile games, we were able to make this announcement. All right, so Wonder Planet, I guess, is a mobile developer that Game Freak aligned with to bring Panland to fruition. It has dungeons, okay? It has all sorts of collecting of treasure, combat, moving around these many islands that are colorful and cute. It does look like something that would have extreme appeal on Switch, and I do wonder if this is going to ever release on the platform. You know, they did bring Pocket Card Jockey to Switch. Little Town Hero is on Switch. Obviously, Pokemon is on Switch. Will Panland reach Nintendo Switch as well? It's also a bit odd because we know that Nintendo and Game Freak, Pokemon Company, they're having a real slow year. They've got that trading card app coming out, but there's no Pokemon game, even though many were sure a black and white remake would be right on the horizon. It seems like the next major Pokemon title is going to be Pokemon Legends ZA. And in the meantime, we have Panland, but Panland isn't even out where we can play it. Well, you can make a Japanese iOS account and you can get after it. I don't know how much of a language barrier there'll be, but it does seem like once you figure it out, you probably would be okay. I think this game looks really cute and fun. It reminds me a lot of, what's that Pokemon game? The Voxley Pokemon game. It's not Pokemon Rumble. What is it? Pokemon Rumble was the one on Wii U, I think. What's the game I'm thinking of? Pokemon Chomp? It's on Switch. It was an early Switch game. Pokemon, gosh darn it, what is this called? Someone yell it out. What is this called? Pokemon Quest. That's what it looks a ton like. Panland looks like Pokemon Quest. And maybe it is just Pokemon Quest, which I wasn't super fond of, but it does look like it could be a fun, interesting time, and I do hope they bring it to Switch just as something new to test out from the makers of Pokemon. Would you play this game? Would you be interested in Panland? Are you going to go download it off the iOS or Android store in Japan? Let me know your take in the comments down below. And until next time, everybody, thanks so much for being here. I really do appreciate each and every one of you. I'm very grateful to be able to do this for all y'all every single day. And honestly, it's such a blessing and a privilege for myself as well. It brings me joy. You guys bring me joy. And so thank you. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, stay positive. And until next time, everybody, SwitchForce out.